I thought I'd come by and make a video of some of the horses and donkeys and ponies, and everything else. We have a lot of friends over here at the property. Now, what we've had to do is a small adjustment, and we knew this would happen, but we were having some issues with the horses being mean to each other. It started when they first arrived yesterday, and I will say that just from what I've observed, it's this gelding male over here. They call him Tigger, I think. This is Brienne's horses. She has Barbie and she has Tigger. Tigger is the little funny color one. I don't even know what color that is, but Tigger is a gelding who is in love with that girl in front of him right there, the blondie. And I tell you what, he did not want her anywhere near our horses. Even though they've all been cut, there's nothing's gonna happen, y'all. They're all friends, they're all in the friend zone, but it didn't matter. He did not want our horses anywhere near her. So they were having issues. They were everyone was all riled up. So we moved these horses over to the right side of the property, and they're kind of having to share a pasture with all of these 100 goats. Yeah, you heard me right. I don't know the official count, but there's a lot of freaking goats here. And this is only half of them, y'all. This is only half. The other half are on the other side over there, along with this one adorable little ram named Angel. Anyway, hang out with me. We're gonna walk around and show you all the babies, including the pigs, all of Dan's and Jake's, and oh, we have a lot to show you. Y'all stick with me for a little bit, and let's see what everyone's doing over here at Longhorn Lester's during their little getaway. So we're real blessed to have this property. And then don't forget, there's also another additional places we could have housed animals over at the JL. And neither one of these properties, the Longhorn Lester property or the JL, have to deal with any kind of flooding. Now, we got our issues, don't get me wrong. We do have our issues at both properties, but not flooding, thank you, the Lord. I joked earlier that this is our ark. This is our place to take animals when floodwaters happen. And with that Plum Grove property, you're not going to ever stop it, y'all. It's never going to stop. It hasn't always been as bad, but now with the new development, and like my sister Tina said, all they have done in that neighborhood across the street is took what was natural watersheds, swampy land, brought in tons of dirt and rock and built all those swamps up. Well, that water has to go somewhere. So where does it go? Right across the street onto our farmlands. So what can you do? The thing is, we were blessed to have this property. It's worked out really good for those who wanted to utilize it. And we're hold on, here's Mr. Ringo. He's like, what's going on? I thought I had a pretty big family already, and now I have a whole lot more to take care of. Sir, I think you're gonna be fine, okay? I think you'll be fine. I've never heard you complain about a bunch of girls running around. You've never complained about too many ladies, have you? Oh, it's not the girls, it's all the kids. He can't stand all the kids. Y'all, Ringo cannot stand all the children. And I don't blame him. Those kids are loud. Those kids are screaming and crying and running around just so darn loud. This is our issue here at Longhorn Lester's. That's our spillway. And friends, it has been repaired 3 times. It was first repaired May 13th of 2023 after we had a torrential downpour. It pushed too much water over and we lost our spillway, or most of it. So it was repaired last year, less than a year ago. And then I would say about a month ago, we had a 9-inch rain, another downpour, and it tore up the spillway again. All of that work that was done last year, it washed it all out. We had Vickery Dirt come out that time and fix it for us. And so Vickery said, hey, if it washed out, don't worry, I'll come back and fix it again. And so Vickery came back out, which was the 3rd time we had it worked on. That was just this week. And they spent the entire day and they worked with tarps. And I mean, they had it, I mean, it was looking nice. brought in more clay, more rock, big rock. And if lo and behold, we didn't get another 5-inch rain, which doesn't seem like that much, but 5 inches in a shorter period of time, and it sent so much water over our spillway that it's washed it out again. So like I said, 3 times in less than a year. And then of course, each time it has to be repaired, there's tons of labor, tons of materials. And y'all, my fear is that if we don't fix it right at some point, we're gonna end up losing the entire darn thing. That will, if the whole thing washes out, then we lose our pond, all of our pond. So Jamie and I are looking at different options, and we're working with Brandy over at Victory Dirt. And even though he doesn't do concrete, he has concrete connections. And we may have to look into getting a concrete spillway, which is what so many of y'all have said to do in the first place. So many of you guys have said you need concrete. You got to have concrete. Clay and rock won't hold. And guess what? You were right. You were right. But I want you to see how far it's pushed that rock down. This is big rock here. There's some of that is that bull rock, that 4 or 5 inch bull rock. There's tons of smaller gravel and all the clay and sand. It has really pushed a lot of materials around. So we got work to do here, but we'll get to that. That's not the most pressing issue right now. We're gonna walk up and visit with Uncle Dan's animals, along with some of Jake's babies, Brienne. Well, we already saw Brienne's horses, and I think her goats are out there with our goats. But you guys come with us. Let's go ahead and do a feed up while we're at it. I saw Jamie out and about. We'll get a feed up going. One more thing we've not talked about is our erosion issues. Look at this. All of this happened in this most recent rain. It has washed a whole lot of dirt off of our hill and down to the creek, which runs to the river. I'm like, wow, Jamie, wow, just wow. But we're not gonna worry about that. Babe, use a tractor. She's so hard-headed. She is so darn hard-headed. She's gonna rather carry hay out here by hand, multiple trips, instead of grabbing the side-by-side or the tractor. Let me get off this phone. I'm gonna help Jamie. I'm gonna help her. All right, so making our way over to this particular pasture. This is the largest of our paddocks. Right now we have our pigs. We're trying to let them sort of assimilate to the smells and the sounds and all that they need to learn about this property before we just release them to the wild. I don't mean the wild, you know what I mean. But we also have the alpaca, and then a couple of goats are hanging out with us. They just refuse to leave to go to the pasture. And we have our big birds, our female big birds. And they're all kind of enjoying themselves here in this particular pasture. Now, we also have a doggy door right here where the goats can come in. Our pigs cannot go out because they can't step over that bottom board. Pigs don't have the ability to leap or jump or even climb with their little short legs. But we're about to have us a feed up here. We have some hay out now, but we're going to get some grains going. And I'm guessing some oatmeal for those babies over there. So you got, oh, hi, pretty girls. Oh, my goodness. And you're like, hey, how about some of that kale from Mama's garden? Or some tomatoes, or I'd take some grapes. Either way. I don't know. We'll find out what Mama wants to do. And how about you, handsome? What are you thinking? What do you want for lunch? You have any ideas for lunch? Now, the alpaca can go out to the pasture. They're scared of you, little guy. The alpaca can go out to the pasture. They go to the doggy door. We've seen all 4 of them do it, even Annie. But as of right now, they're, we're just going to hang out over here and with these pigs and these big birds. It's a sloppy day. We don't want to go too far from home and then end up getting wet. And that is true. So we're going to be fine. Now, we think our rain has stopped. So if you're concerned about any more rain and then babies not having a place to go, we know, guys, this loafing shed was never meant to be big enough to hold all these babies. So we will have to, at some point, begin to think about additional buildings, loafing sheds for more babies, especially our pigs. I told Jamie I would like to build something for the pigs a little bit further down. Let them stay as close to that little creek as possible so they have a short walk back and forth. And then we'd also like to feed them out there. Don't forget that pigs have different dietary needs than goats. And so I'd rather the pigs be closer to the little creek And then I can feed them out there and keep them and the goats separated during feed time. That would be ideal. All right, well, now you've seen all of these babies. It's time for us to take a little bit of a walk over to Uncle Dan's. Well, before I do that, let me show you real fast our male birds, our big birds, Carl and Tat. We've put them off to themselves in this pasture over here. Now, they have a loafing shed they don't use. Everyone knows that these birds do not like to go into loafing sheds. They've never been animals who feel safe enough to go inside of enclosed spaces. But for the most part, they just kind of walk the fence line and look at the ladies. Especially that one right there. That's their favorite girl right there. They love her. Wanda's a little bit jealous. And Tina could care less. Tina could care less about the boys. But no, here's Carl and Tat, just doing what they do, hanging out with the girls, walking the fences, just keeping an eye on everybody. And that's fine. All right, let's flip it around here and see what Daniel's babies are up to. And then we're going to try to identify whose is Daniel's, whose is Jake's, because I just don't know. So the only animal that I know by name, I know a couple. So this little mini horse over here is named Buffy. That's Buffy. And this little emu is known as Littlefoot. Hi, Littlefoot. And I will say that the big birds over here, yeah, Carl and Tat, are terrified of this little girl over here. Oh, she's going to clean my shoes. Okay. Now, as far as the goats go, you guys are going to hate me for this. But if you remember, we had given some of these goats names back when Tilly had them. But Dan and Lou changed their names. And I never kept up with what their new names are. And I don't even know your name, but you're such a cutie. Oh, you're such a cute one. I just don't know what... Ouch, stop picking on me. I just don't know what your name is, and I'm so sorry. I want to know your name. I just don't. So I do believe that's a little male donkey. I think Buffy's a little female. Littlefoot is also a female, I believe. Okay, now the hard part. Okay, Opal, if I'm not mistaken, they call this little cow here, this little tiny cow, they call her Opal Rose. This is LJ. This is LJ here. I don't know what LJ stands for, but I don't think it's Lester Jr. I do not think Daniel named his cow Lester Jr. Now, if he did, that's wonderful. But you know what? Let's just call him Lester. We'll call him Lester Jr., LJ. Fine. And then if oh boy. Okay. Ball goat is the white one. That's ball goat. And then this little tiny little munchkin is named Elwood. I know his name is Elwood. Elwood, I'm looking at you. I think that's Elwood because that was my nickname whenever I was a baby. When I was a little guy, they called me Elwood. There's a funny story behind that I'll be happy to tell you sometime. But now's not the time. But Elwood. All right, of course, everyone knows Pickles. Okay, now here's the hard part. Who's that? I don't know that one's name. All right, now as far as these over here, I know that Lou calls one of them Dolly. She calls... I'm sorry, don't even make me try to figure it out. Guys, I have no idea. I have no darn idea. Right now, they're all eating on some hay. This is some green alfalfa hay, which is very nutritious and good for them. We also feed grains. We wanted to wait on the grains until the rain stops, and I do believe our rain has passed. We have clear skies or clearing skies. I don't think there's more rain in the forecast, which means I'll come over here and empty out their feed troughs that Dan brought, the little hanging feed troughs. These are wonderful. And I will feed them all their grains. Dan and Lou left us very specific instructions on their dietary needs. Now, all of those are full of water right now. So we'll have to empty all of these out. And that's fine. But Dan also brought all the grains over for them. So they have their stuff to eat over here. So, all right, well, now you have kind of an idea of what we have going on over here. You're something else. You know that? You're something else. Have you met Ziggy? Have you met Ziggy? Oh, I think y'all should have babies together. That'd be so cute. We'd have some, hello there, little tiny thing. Do you remember who I am? I'm Uncle Ector. Remember me? I'm Uncle Ector. Stop biting me, boy or girl. She's something else, y'all. She is something else. But Jamie and I are really enjoying babysitting. And I'm so happy that those guys took us up on our offer to help and at least house their babies. I know they're all dealing with flooding. Not only is Ellie and Megan's babies here, but that allows them to focus more on what they need to take care of and not have to worry about the babies and all of their flooding concerns. Daniel, Jake, Bree can all focus on what they have to get taken care of with all the flooding, and no one's going to be consumed. No one's going to be consumed with having to watch out for their babies and take care of their homes and their possessions. So I don't...
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.